Morning. Committee on Parole is called to order. Today is January 18th, 2024. My name is Cheryl Renatza, serving as chairman of today's panel. My colleagues this morning are Mr. Alvin Roche and Mr. Pete Freeman. We are at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge, and I'd like for staff here at DOC headquarters to introduce themselves for the record.
Jason Thompson.
Sure, I'll be there.
Denise Evans.
Carla Williams.
Whitney Trostler.
Francis Abbott.
All right, and our first remote location this morning is we're at Caddo Correctional Center. Would the staff there please introduce yourself for the record?
My name is Rick Ferris. I'm the jail commander here at the Cattle Correctional Center.
Tasha Richardson, classification.
All right, thank you. Thanks for accommodating us this morning. And we have Mr. David. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name, your DOC number.
My name is Kenneth Ray David. My DOC number is 622-421.
So we are here this morning, Mr. David, for a revocation decision. Do you have a parole revocation questionnaire there with you? In front of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page dated October 6, 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So based on that information, you're not eligible for appointed counsel. So are you ready to proceed this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So I'm going to read the allegation against you, after which you'll enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and then we'll talk about it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're accused of violating the conditions of your parole, specifically. Well, first, let me acknowledge that your mother, Ms. Gail David, is here with us, and she wants to speak on your behalf. We'll ask her to do so at the appropriate time. So you're accused of violating the conditions of parole, specifically condition number 4, you failed to refrain from criminal activity as evident by recent arrest on September 19, 2023 by the Shreveport Police Department. You were charged with domestic abuse battery, which was amended to disturbing the peace. How do you plead to violating condition number 4?
Which one am I pleading? I'm pleading not guilty to the disturbing of peace. I mean,
you're pleading guilty or not guilty to violating the conditions of your parole. Condition number 4, which says that you must refrain from criminal activity. I need a guilty or not guilty plea.
Not guilty.
Okay, now we can talk about it. Is there a statement you'd like to make?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, what is it?
I want to talk about the situation, right? I'm about to talk about the situation.
Tell us about it.
I ain't know the girl long, and okay, I don't even know where to start. I ain't.
Let me tell you what I got. Let me tell you what's in my. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
In my record, and the victim's name is Ashley Miller. There were multiple witnesses that saw you punching Miss Miller, pulling her out of the car by her hair. She had visible injuries. Respond to that.
The only time all right, I'm gonna skip the day before when we had got into it, when we was at my mom's house, because we're gonna go to okay. I never even went on that side of the car, whenever she hit me and I slammed on the brakes and got out, and I told her, because the police we just had an incident when she just had took the car, and when the police pulled up, they said that it's not grand theft auto, that it was unauthorized use of a vehicle. I'm like, okay. They was like, they told me that I had to bring the girl back home, and I was like, okay, well, we ain't making 10 blocks. She started tripping and doing the most. She hit me or whatever. I got out the car in the middle of Lion Avenue, I never even went on that side of the car. And I told her 2 options, either keep your hand to yourself or get out, Pretty simple. And she was like, get my stupid tail back in the car. Bye bye. I got back in the car. Well, eventually she was like, you know what? Let me get out the car. And I was like, no, the people said to bring you back home. So she grabbed the steering wheel, I slammed on the brakes, she hopped out the car while it was still moving. That's when I called the people and it was like, hey, I can't bring her home. She just dropped out of a moving vehicle. You know, she's not in her right state. She's no.
So she was under the influence of drugs or something, and the police report says you were too.
All right. In that case, then, because see, when the police, when the probation, when I went to the parole preliminary, when he read the report to me, it kind of blew my mind because she said that she's known me for a year. I only known her for a couple weeks. She couldn't even tell you my full name.
Well, that's beside.
All right.
That's beside.
All right. At the end of the report, it says that it looked like we both was under the influence. Okay. In that case, when he came pull up the first time, why did you let her get back in my car and let me drive away if I was under the influence? You know.
All right. Any questions? Well, we want to hear from your mother. Miss Gail, are you there with us? Is there something you'd like to say to us? Is she here?
Yeah.
Oh, there she is. Miss Gail, I'm sorry, you're on mute. Can you unmute your device?
Mute. Okay.
Yeah,
You can hear me now? Okay. I'm sorry. This is new for me. Yeah, I would like to say something. If he's never ever put his hands on a female because he knows what I've went through. And that's why I have his back right now. I had told him when he came home last year, after his jail time, I would not do jail time again with him. He's been doing awesome. He's been working, door dashing. He had a regular job. He had a car note, paying his fees every month. I have to admit, I was proud. But when he brought this girl here, and this girl, she took something or whatever, but she went crazy, put holes in my wall. If he would have put his hands on her, it would have been that day after she did that to the house. But I told him, get her out of my house. I don't want that around me. He decides to go to her grandmother's, then to my sister in Shreveport. And I talk to him every day. I mean, every hour to every 2 hours, I could show phone records to check on him while he was up there. He called me back about 2 hours after our last conversation. I was hearing screaming and noise. And I'm asking him what's going on. He said, man, I'm fixing to go back to jail. He said, these people told us if they had to come back out, we were both going to jail. I said, what is going on? What is all this noise? He said, she's biting, she's pinching, she's hitting, she's kicking the car. He said, she's freaking out. And I had told him Monday when that happened over here. I said, kid, you with this girl does this in public, you gonna go to jail if something happens. And sure enough, this is what happened. He has no history whatsoever, ever putting his hands on no one. And that's why I have a hard time believing that he actually say what I heard you just say, punching her and pulling her by the hair and all that. I just have a hard time believing that part. I mean, he might have been trying to I know he hold her down, when she was acting up here to try to stop her from hitting stuff, the way she was hitting, and put a big old hole in my wall. And I don't know what else to say. I mean, I understand y'all have to really check into all of this stuff here, but he really has been trying very hard out here.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us and share that. We do have the information in our record about what happened at your house before they went to Shreveport. We do have that information. Commander, is there anything you'd like to say about Mr. David?
No, ma'am. He was arrested and transferred to us on November the 27th, and we haven't had any issues with him.
All right, good. Thank you, sir. Mr. David, anything else you'd like to say to us?
Yes, man. I learned my lesson, man. I ain't lying to you. If it wouldn't have been for me, a couple of things. If I ain't, I seen my mama get hurt 1/3 of my life, Second, Man, the time has changed me. I haven't even stole a candy bar. Oh my God. I, oh, yeah, no, I don't got.
Mr. David, I think we are prepared to vote, and it doesn't appear to me that you're taking this situation very seriously at all. It is serious. You know, I think your decision making is poor. You should have heeded your mother's advice, Ms. Miller. I find that you did violate condition number 4 of your parole conditions, so my vote today is going to be to revoke your parole. Mr. Rocha.
Mr. Davi, based upon evidence of eyewitnesses of a violent criminal activity on your part, I am revoking your supervision.
Mr. Freeman.
I think that.
All right, Mr. David, you've received a unanimous vote this morning to revoke your parole. You will have the opportunity to apply for another hearing. I would suggest that you take advantage of any program opportunities that are available to you and reapply when you're eligible. We'll send you that information to let you know when you